Last time, Ash and the gang arrived at Cerulean City, where it is revealed Misty was actually sisters of the gym leaders. After this revelation, her and Ash have a match where Beedrill evolves, but the match never gets finished due to Team Rocket's interruption, and in the end, Ash does get the badge, leading to Gary having a match with Misty, where he easily beats her, but Misty's Goldeen falls in the Sea Cane by the end of it. After agreeing to get stronger and saying goodbye to her sisters, Ash and the gang meet two new rivals, Aj and Giselle. Ash and the gang then meet three new Pokémon, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, which Ash catches all three. What is in store for our heroes as they continue their adventures? Ash is at the Pokemon Center, rotating his team. He sends Pidgeotto to Oak's lab because he feels that it should be allowed to fly and be free within the open area at Oak's lab. He also wants to keep an eye on Beedrill while it starts problems at the lab. With Squirtle now on his team, Ash and the gang continue their travels when they spot a battle outside the Poke Center. This battle is between Gary's newly evolved Kingler and a trainer with a Weeping Bell. Gary easily wins and makes Ash want to challenge him. Gary initially wants to deny this request as he's in the rush, but embarrassing Ash beats all other priorities, so he accepts the match. Gary uses Kingler and Ash uses Squirtle. Ash and Squirtle attempt to use tackle and water guns, but they all miss one after the other. Gary then has Kingler use Crab Hammer, which takes Squirtle out easily. Gary gloats about the easy victory and also makes Ash feel embarrassed after mentioning he caught 40 different Pokemon compared to his 8. Ash then gets angry and runs off to catch a new Pokemon. While searching, he is reminded by Misty and Brock that most of his Pokemon let him catch them easily, that most of his Pokemon just let him catch it, and most trainers have to battle Pokemon to even catch them. This infuriates Ash more, so he promises he's gonna catch his Pokemon all on his own without help in that moment. He runs around and spots a Krabby and picks up a stick to fight it. Ash is eventually able to catch it and cheers for his new capture as the Pokeball is sent to Oak's lab. Ash wants to call Oak to check on Krabby as soon as possible, but a storm suddenly starts, leading them to get trapped in a nearby lighthouse. They meet the owner of the lighthouse, a researcher named Bill. They use his phone to call Oak and check on Krabby, seeing everything is okay. Meanwhile, Team Rocket are trapped in the storm and attempt to break into the lighthouse for shelter and even to potentially find some rare Pokemon. Bill then explains to Ash and the gang that his studies are on all 150 Pokemon known from the Kanto Pokédex. He then mentions that recently he's seen an unknown Pokemon nearby in the ocean that he's been dying to see. He uses a cry he recorded to call for it when it suddenly appears. Bill and the gang are facing this ginormous Pokemon. Team Rocket are nearby and attempt to catch it, but fail, being sent blasting off again by the monster-sized Pokemon as it runs off. After this, Bill and the gang part ways as Bill hopes he can meet that Pokemon again one day. Ash and the gang finally arrive in Vermilion and head right for the gym. That's when they meet a strong soldier-looking man. This is Lieutenant Surge, the gym leader. He sees Ash's Pikachu and mocks it. His gym assistants laugh on, but one does remain silent. Surge mocks Ash, stating that a weakling like him and his Pikachu should consider evolving as he sends out his Raichu to brag to Ash. He mentions that he evolved his Raichu immediately, and because of that, it's become extremely strong. Ash gets angry, fights back, saying that him and Pikachu are even stronger than Surge and will easily win. Team Rocket are nearby and spectate the battle from afar, wanting to see how Pikachu would do against his evolution Raichu. Surge just begins to mock Ash more when the battle finally starts. Surge sends out his Electrode and Ash sends out his Eevee. Ash calls for a Swift, but Electro avoids it by roll. Ash then goes in for a quick attack, which Electro is able to outspeed with its roll. Electro then uses Thunder, paralyzing Eevee and allowing it to be crushed by its rollout multiple times. Eevee eventually gets knocked into the air and lands on Electro. That is when Ash thinks that Eevee should use Tail Whip to slow down its roll. but before he can do anything, Surge calls for an explosion, taking out both Pokemon. Surge begins to laugh even more, mocking Ash as he sends out Raichu, and Ash sends out Pikachu. He calls for a Thunder Shock, which Raichu tanks and then sends it back with Thunder. The force of the electricity knocks Pikachu back, and Raichu goes for a Slam, which Pikachu attempts to counter with Tackle, but due to Raichu's size, it knocks it back. Raichu continues to slam Pikachu on the ground more and more, eventually taking it out. Surge mocks Ash and his weak Pikachu as they run off to the Poké Center. At the Poké Center, both Eevee and Pikachu are being treated when Surge's assistant arrives. She introduces herself as Visquez, Surge's apprentice. She apologizes on behalf, stating that he's just hard on every trainer he meets, and means well, but his views on strength are a little old-fashioned. That is when she mentions she has a way for the duo to win the rematch. She pulls out a thunderstorm and offers it to Ash, saying evolving may be the only thing leading to their victory. Ash offers the thunderstorm to Pikachu, which it refuses, making it clear that it wants to win without it. Ash is on board with the idea and promises Pikachu they will win the rematch. Ash then begs Visquez to help them out with the rematch, which she reluctantly agrees to. We see a flashback to the match from Visquez's point of view, and how she was inspired by Ash. Visquez also has an Eevee and Pikachu, but she refused to evolve them immediately, leading to Surge to be more hard and aggressive towards her. Seeing Surge treat Ash like that made her snap and stand up for him, telling him how rude he was towards Ash and even other challengers. And she believes that the kind man she chose to follow has become warped, and she runs off to go cheer up Ash. The next day, Visquez arrives at the Pokémon Center to help train Ash. Meanwhile, Team Rocket are watching, hoping Pikachu can pull out a victory, or else all their plans would be in vain. Visquez sends out her Magnemite in order to test Pikachu's electric strength. After reading how strong it is, Visquez thinks of ways to increase it when she sends out her own Pikachu to battle. The battle goes on, each Pikachu trading blow for blow, when eventually they both fail. After more and more training, Visquez eventually becomes annoyed with Ash, as she begins being more aggressive with Ash's training. Ash snaps and tells her he doesn't need her training. That's when Ash begins thinking along with Brock and Misty on the way to beat Surge. Visquez realizes she's treating Ash like she's treated by Surge. Team Rocket continue watching Ash and realize they need to take training into their own hands. Visquez goes to apologize to Ash when suddenly Team Rocket attacks, and together Ash and Visquez are able to send them blasting off again. Ash and Visquez continue their training when Surge runs into them and laughs about the training, then walks out. He then thinks to himself, why can't she realize what true strength is? Surge then has a flashback, meeting Visquez and helping her grow into the woman she is today. He begins to see a constant face of sadness when he thinks back on his harsh words and training. Ash believes he's ready to take on Surge, and the group head towards the gym, when they are stopped by a mysterious trio who cheer them on, and they head off. Ash screams, "Thank you, Team Rocket!" It is now time for Ash and Surge's rematch. Surge laughs, saying Ash definitely hasn't gotten stronger, as he still has that little Pikachu. The battle begins. Surge sends out his Electrode, and Ash sends out Bulbasaur this time. Ash realizes for this battle, he needs to keep his distance and use Vine Whips and Rage Boost. Surge is eventually able to get the upper hand and grow closer with Rollout. Once next to Bulbasaur, Surge calls for an explosion, but before it can burst, Bulbasaur wraps its vines around it and throws it away, taking little damage from the explosion. Surge is shocked, but then realizes that Visquez probably informed Ash exactly how to avoid an explosion up close. Surge then sends out Raichu, which Ash recalls Bulbasaur and sends out Pikachu. Ash tells Pikachu to stick to their plan. Lieutenant Surge then uses the same strategy as last time, but Ash orders Pikachu to dodge Raichu's attacks. This causes Raichu to take more and more damage from its body slams against the ground. Ash orders Pikachu to use Agility, and Pikachu accelerates to full speed. With this extreme speed, Raichu's body slam attempts fail more and more as it begins to grow tired. Ash's Pikachu is outspeeding Raichu. Visquez is shocked by this, stating she didn't tell Ash to do this. That's when Brock revealed that he had pitched the idea to outspeed Raichu, which would work in theory, as Surge never let Raichu learn speed-based moves. As the Pikachu sensed, he evolved it immediately. Raichu then charges up a Thunder and decides to combine it with a Body Slam and charge at Pikachu. Ash then tells Pikachu to stick its tail on the ground to brace in the blow and absorb some of the electricity. Pikachu is able to grab Raichu, absorb some of its electricity, and brace in the impact. After this, Pikachu is able to land a quick attack and take down Raichu, beating Surge. With this, Surge apologizes to Ash and to Visquez and tells them that thanks to this battle, he has a new view on what strength could be, and he wants to train in a whole new way. He then promises to Visquez he'll treat her right with respect, and she can choose when she wants to evolve her puppy. After this, Visquez and Surge say goodbye to Ash, and Ash requests that he will meet Visquez again and battle her Pikachu once it evolves, which she agrees to. Ash and friends spot a luxurious cruise, and even notice that Gary is getting on it. Ash and the group become jealous that he can ride on such a ship. That is when two mysterious people give them a free passes onto the SSN. These two are Team Rocket, who are tasked with getting trainers with strong Pokemon on board the SSN, so that Team Rocket can hijack the boat and steal all their Pokemon as part of a secret operation. The gang arrive on the boat, seeing how luxurious the inside truly is, and notices some battles. One is between Gary's Geodude and a trainer's Eradicate. The trainer with Eradicate puts up a good fight, but ultimately loses to Gary. After seeing this, Ash wants to challenge the gentleman with Eradicate as well, which he agrees to, but only after he has a meal. While this is happening, Jesse, James, and Meowth get aboard the boat, and James is scammed into giving all the trio's savings to a man for a Magikarp, after being told of a potential gold mine with Magikarp breeding. Ash and the Eradicate trainer have a battle. Ash's Butterfree versus his Eradicate. After some Sleep Powder and Whirlwinds, Butterfree wins the match with ease. Seeing Butterfree's potential and strength, the trainer offers a deal with Ash. A trade between his most powerful Pokemon, Cloyster, for Butterfree. Ash thinks about it and actually accepts, thinking this could be beneficial to him in the future, as this Cloyster may be able to beat some of Gary's stronger Pokemon. After the trade, Team Rocket attack the boat and attempt to steal all the Pokemon aboard. But Gary and some others start to fight back. Ash, Brock, and Misty all step in with their Pokemon, and Ash realizes he's missing Butterfree and becomes sad. All the Pokemon team up to fight against Team Rocket. During this battle, Ash's Charmander is actually saved by a mysterious war turtle. This battle causes great damage to the ship and it begins to sink. Before the ship is able to go down, Ash begs the trainer to trade back for his Butterfree, which he agrees to, seeing how much Ash misses it. After the trade, Ash drops his Pokeball and has to go chase for it as the ship goes down. Team Rocket are also chasing a Pokeball with James's Magikarp, which he dropped after Jesse shouted. The ship goes down with all 6 still in it, and they are trapped. As the rest of the passengers look on, Gary notices that Ash, Brock, and Misty are missing while he rides on his Lapras. Back on the ship, Ash, Brock, Misty, and Team Rocket all have to team up to get out. They use their Pokemon in order to traverse the destroyed boat and eventually find a way to get out, but it requires a Water-type Pokemon to swim them to the surface. Ash's group is fine, but Team Rocket is stuck as James's Magikarp can't swim. Ash and the gang arrive in a raft when they realize Team Rocket might have drowned. Ash sends out Butterfree to find land, but it just finds the trio. They wake up and Jesse kicks Magikarp in anger, making it cry. The cry alerts some Gyarados, which use Twister to send the group and all their Pokemon flying away. Ash and the trio wake up on a deserted island, separated from some of their Pokemon, while Jesse and James are also separated from all their Pokemon, aside from Magikarp. And all the Pokemon who had separated from the trainers wake up to see that they are missing. The Pokemon all team up and the trainers all begin traveling the island in order to reunite and find each other. That is when they discover ginormous Pokemon. The Pokemon trainers are all eventually able to reunite with their Pokemon. They find out the giant Pokemon are all robots, a part of a tourist destination owned by Team Rocket's boss, which they had accidentally destroyed trying to get off the island. Ash, Rock, Misty, and Team Rocket are now all safe on a boat heading for land, ready to continue their journey.
Look, Lil Dishy on the beat. Lil Dishy about to speak. Damn, Lil Dishy.
I can be lazy too. Look at me.
Lil Dishy making bank, counting all these racks. Running back for years, yeah, my name all in your facts. Know some politicians, yeah, I never pay a tax. If I catch that kid, I'ma put him in a pack. Hit him with this pole like I'm defense playing lax. Dump him in the trash like a lineman getting sacked. Open up the safe, you know it's filled with stacks. They saying that I peak, we ain't even at the max.